fairy godmother had gotten tired of all the royal children claiming to be smarter than the Isle kids. She refused to call them villain kids. They had proved themselves not to be evil in her eyes, so she came up with a little game. Welcome back, Villain Family. If you're new to our channel, please remember to subscribe and turn the notifications on so you won't miss out on any of our Descendants videos. Good morning, children, she said to the group of 11 children sitting in the classroom. Good morning, Fairy Godmother. They all returned. I have called you here because I am tired of the disagreeing going on between you all. So I have decided you will play a little game. There will be 2 teams of 5. I need one of you, she asked, looking at the group of 6 AKs, Chad, Lonnie, Jane, Audrey, Doug, and Ben, to volunteer to be the 5th member of Mal, Jay, Evie, and Carlos's team. Jane, Doug, and Ben all volunteered. Okay, we will put the 3 names in a hat and have one of you 4 pull the name. FG said to the VKs. Mal made Jay do it, since he was the only one not involved, so to speak. He pulled Ben. Ben joined the others. Now I will MC and make sure no one cheats. And the Isle kids expected her to glare at them. Instead, she stared at Audrey and Chad. This surprised them and kind of made them feel better about the whole thing. Have you heard of the TV game show Family Feud? She paused and the kids all nodded. Well, that's the game we're going to play. Several other classmates answered questions. So it is your peers that came up with the answers. You will have 2 hours to get ready and pick a team captain. Meet in the auditorium and be camera ready. There will be no audience, but Jordan will broadcast it on the school station. Dismissed, she said before Audrey could object, and she was close to it. The Isle kids headed into Mal and Evie's room, while the Auradon kids headed to Chad's room. In Mal's room, behind closed doors, they discussed the whole thing. So, what do you think? Evie asked. I'm not sure about it, Jay answered first. I know we're all smart. That isn't the issue. I'm more worried about their choosing questions we won't have knowledge of, Carlos injected. I've only seen that game show a few times, and it's hard if you're not from around here. It'll be okay, Carlos. If Fairy Godmother is making the questions, she'll be fair. And she did say general knowledge. That might be something that helps us. Those guys might not all understand general stuff. Ben reminded them all. Mal, who had been silent for a while, finally spoke up. I hate that we have to go against our friends, but this is something we need to do to prove ourselves to the school, so we might as well do it. Who should be the captain? I say we vote. E, hand out paper and pen, please. After the papers were read and counted, Mal won hands down. The only vote against her was her own. She voted for Ben. Okay, I'll do it. Thanks for the vote of confidence, gang. Meanwhile, in Chad's room, we're going to show those VKs who's best, Chad bragged. Doug and Lonnie exchanged looks with Jane. That's exactly what this is about, Chad. Attitude like yours, Jane pointed out. I, for one, am looking forward to proving we are superior to them. With Doug on our team, we can't lose, Audrey bragged. Audrey, do you know how the game even works? Doug asked. Well, no, I don't watch common TV, but we have you and we shall win. Chad, can you bring an episode up on your laptop for the princess? Lonnie asked. After about 10 minutes, Audrey is a little more than upset. I will not be subjected to that. She can't make me, Audrey exclaimed, referring to Fairy Godmother. As if she knew this would happen, Fairy Godmother stopped by the room. Oh, and I just wanted to let you know, failure to participate will result in community service. And before you object, Audrey, it's in the school's charter, and I can assign community service to anyone at any time if the situation warrants it. And the other group is ready when you are. We don't have a captain yet, Doug pointed out. Oh, that's me. Audrey and Chad both jumped on it. I suggest you work it out. Only one captain. How about a vote? Lonnie suggested. Fine. Audrey agreed, sure she'd win over Chad. Jane handed out paper. Chad voted for Chad. Audrey voted for Audrey. Jane, Lonnie, and Doug voted for Doug. 3-2 in favor of Doug. Lonnie read the ballots. What? Audrey and Chad both exclaimed. I should have won. It's decided. Doug is captain. Let's go. I have a huge test tomorrow I need to study for, Lonnie reminded them. The two groups walked one after the other into the auditorium. There they found the stage set up a little like the TV show. FG was standing at the podium. Jordan was standing to the side by a computer that was connected to the overhead screen behind FG. Take your places. Captains are closest to me. Mal moved in and the others just took a place. No one fought. They just took a place. On the AK side, Doug moved into his place. Jane and Lonnie stood back, waiting to see where Chad and Audrey went, then filled in the remaining spots. Audrey and Chad shoved each other, fighting over the spot next to Doug. Once they settled, Audrey winning out, Fairy Godmother signaled Jordan to start. Little did anyone know Fairy Godmother and Jordan had already arranged that they would be live as soon as they all walked in. So everyone watching saw the Aisle kids walk in nicely and move into place without issue, while some of the AKs fought. Welcome, Auradon prep students, to our version of Family Feud. FG read off the cue cards a little nervous. The Aisle kids and Ben against the Auradon kids. Can I have the captains up? Please shake hands. Doug approached Mal. They shook hands and got ready to play. He winked at her and she smiled back. Okay, we surveyed 100 students, top 5 answers on the board, and asked them what is the most popular class to take at AP. She showed the board had 5 answers. Doug hit the buzzer about a split second before Mal. Doug? FG asked. Mal smiled at his speed. Royal preparations, Doug answered. FG repeated it and the answer was number 4. Mal, can you beat that? FG asked. Internet safety? Mal said. Not sure why that came to her mind. FG turned and it wasn't there. Doug, pass or play? FG asked. Play, his team stated. I guess we're playing. Sorry, guys, Doug said to Mal's team, who were gathering together to think about their choice. Audrey? FG asked. Well, how to be a proper princess, of course, it's number 1, she bragged. And is it there? FG asked. Strike 1. Audrey stamped her foot. Chad? Chemistry. Chad says chemistry. It turned out to be number 5. Not bad, Chad. Lonnie? Gym. Gym? FG asked. Number 3. Nice. Jane? Chad took my guess. 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Strike 2. Back to you, Doug, FG said, returning to Doug. Art. They all looked at him with disgust. Then to the board. Strike 3. Aisle gang. Mal, what do you guys say? Thinking it might be a great joke, they all agreed on remedial goodness. FG looked at them and wanted to laugh, but she didn't. She turned to the board, and there it was, number 1. The Aisle kids cheered. Number 2? FG asked. It turned to reveal history of knights. Okay, Jay and Audrey. FG called up the next 2 players. Audrey barely touched Jay's hand when they shook them. Again, we asked 100 students, top 7 answers on the board, name a dwarf. Jay buzzed in faster than Audrey. Sneezy, he said, smiling and winking at Doug. FG looked at the board. Number 7. Jay just laughed. Guess you aren't the only one who forgets that uncle, eh, Doug? He smirks. Audrey. She looks from FG to the board. Pretty. The buzzer sounds and she just shrugs. Jay, pass or play? FG asks. Oh, we'll play. We got this. Play, Jay boasts. Very good. Evie? Dopey? They look at the board. Number 1. Evie smiles at Doug. Ben? Doc. Number 3. Okay, Carlos. Happy. Number 6. Excellent. Mal, back up to you. Bashful? Number 4. Very well done. 2 answers left and no strikes. We're going back to you, Jay. Sleepy, he said with confidence. Yes, okay. Evie, if you get this, you guys clear the board. Oh, Grumpy, she remembered at the last second, just before the buzzer. Jordan, did she get it in time? Jordan nodded. Okay, Grumpy for the round. And of course it was up there. The VKs cheered. Okay, next round, top 5 answers, and the points are doubled. Evie and Chad, come on up. Chad refused to shake her hand, but Evie didn't mind. We surveyed 100 students. Name an evil artifact from the museum. Chad buzzed in first. Chad, spinning wheel. Spinning wheel? FG asked. I'm impressed, Chad. Number 1 answer, play or pass? Play. They will so know that stuff. Jane, dear? FG asked. Sorry, Edie. Poison apple? Jane said shyly. Poison apple, FG asked. Number 3. Lonnie? Jafar's staff. The staff? Number 2. Doug, back to you. Evil Queen's mirror. Now Evie knew that wasn't true, as it had been destroyed, and she just stood there shaking her head at the boy she was crushing on. The Queen's mirror. Strike 1. Audrey? Queen of Hearts cards. Queen's cards? Strike 2. Okay, Chad, you need this to stay in the game. Mom's glass slipper, he joked, having no clue what else could be up there. Honestly, Chad, FG said, I don't even have to ask. Mal, get ready to steal. Third X. Okay, Mal, what do you guys have? Yasma's potions, Mal's mom's staff, and Facilier's talisman were all answers called out. Mal? The dragon's eye, mom's staff, Mal said, and the VKs were shocked. Interesting. Number 4, Yasma's potion. Jay smiled. That was his answer. Number 5, Queen of Hearts croquet mallet. FG wondered what students they interviewed, because she was pretty sure that was nowhere in the museum that she had ever seen. Well, we have a close game now. Give me Jane and Ben. Jane curtsied to Ben when they shook hands. Okay, top 5 answers on the board. Points are still doubled. Winner takes the game. Up 100 students surveyed. Name a royal couple saved by true love's kiss. Ben buzzed in first. My parents, he smiled. Belle and Beast? FG asked. Number 2. Jane, Tiana and Naveen, she said. Really, Jane? Audrey yelled, knowing her parents had to be number 1. Audrey, that is enough. Save it for your turn if you get one, FG said. Tiana and Naveen? Number 5. Nice job, Jane. Ben, pass or play? We'll play. Very good. Carlos, your turn. Cinderella and Prince Charming. Carlos asked more than said. Chad laughed. The board triggered an X. Sorry, son. Not my thing, he joked. Mal, dear. Aurora and Philip. Mal smirked at Audrey. Aurora and Philip, FG asked. She got the number 1 answer. Jay, Ariel and Eric, he asked, and so did FG, to which he got the number 3 answer. Okay, Evie dear, for the win? FG asked. Easy, Snow White and Prince Florian. Snow and Florian? FG asked. Number 2. The VK team cheered while the AKs were upset. Well, there you have it, students, a close game all around. Have a great afternoon, FG said, and Jordan cut the feed. The kids left their sides of the stage and went to meet in the middle, most of the AKs shaking hands with the aisle kids. Only Audrey refused. She just left. Excellent game, Jane said to Carlos. Thanks, you too, he blushed. Jay, what was the whole sneezy thing? Lonnie asked. When we first met Doug, he was listing off his father and uncles, and that was the one he couldn't remember. Carlos had to remind him. Okay, I get it, Doug laughed. Nice game, Evie. I thought for sure your mother's mirror was in there. No, only just the small part she gave me. The mirror as a whole was shattered, but I honestly just gave it to Fairy Godmother, so there's no way it could be something the kids knew about. I'm surprised your mom's staff wasn't one, Mal, Ben said to Mal. I'm actually glad it wasn't, but it sounds like the most logical answer, so I went with it. I can see that, he smiled. The group all headed out. The end. I'm Lady Blah Blah, and as always, thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this story, feel free to check out another one. And don't forget to put a like, subscribe, and share this video with your villain friends.